Red? Achla. Grannem, thank you for having me here in your restaurant.
Thank you for coming.
And thank you for opening your home and restaurant for the Real Israel Club. The people back at home, I believe,
Hello, people.
can enjoy meeting you, but since they're not here, I'm meeting you for them. Maybe we'll start with introducing you,
Okay.
your name, and maybe what you do, where do you live?
Well, I'm Rannem Barhum. I'm the chef and the owner of Rafa restaurant. It's an Arabic farm-to-table restaurant. Actually, we're having here only hummus and chips Arabic restaurants. That's what everybody thinks, but when you think about it, I mean, the local food, the local cuisine was always a farm-to-table cuisine. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get back to my roots and making like local food. When I'm saying local food, I don't say Arabic food because I mean lots of kind of people have lived here. So it's like our local food, and it's basically it have Arabic herbs, it have like Mediterranean herbs, and when we're talking about Israeli food now, we're talking about a bunch of cuisines, which we have also the European cuisine, which Jews brought with them, and
A lot of influence from around. But your home is here in the hills of Jerusalem, and the local cuisine is mainly based on these hills around Jerusalem. Maybe we should mention that the restaurant is located
and Rafa.
in Rafa, which is a beautiful small farming village.
You're right.
Right on the way,
We're like 2,000 people here.
right at the entrance to Jerusalem.
Between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv.
Maybe we can share that we met during COVID time when we started to do some
We thought it was the most horrible thing, the COVID time, but
food tasting tours here in the village because there is an amazing scene, and I think we should invite everyone to come see it. But since they're not here, we'll share a bit more about what's going on and about your life. Your restaurant is located right next to a mosque, right? The mosque of the village, and
everybody was asking what he's such a crazy person who's going to make a restaurant next to the mosque for Jewish people. But I'm a bit crazy, I guess. now I feel that. But yes.
we'll try and show also. Maybe we'll do some B-rolls of the fields outside. I like what you grow over there. But I want to take you back before we're going to go and talk about your food and about what you're doing here more. You are an Arab Israeli, and it's something that a lot of people have hard time talking about. 21% of the Israelis are Arabs. You're my neighbor. I'm your neighbor. And I was wondering, maybe if you can share a little bit how and what did you feel or what caught you? Where was October 7th, the morning of this Saturday? Obviously you were probably preparing for a very busy day.
Saturday day, yes, it was a Saturday, so we have here like 400 or 500 people. 500 people
supposed to be here.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like that. And in that day, I remember that my wife woke me up at 7 o'clock, and she was like, "There's a war, there was a war," and I was, "What happened?" And she was, "There's missiles," and I'm like, "So what's new? There's always missiles here." It was like, "No, there is a war." So when I went to the TV and I started to watch it, it was like very different thing. We didn't know yet what happened, what was happening, but it was like different. So then I found, I mean, when I looked on the reservations, I started to see like it was 400, then it came to 350, 300, 200, I mean 200, and like that, and then it went like
everyone canceled.
70 people, everyone canceled, and then we understand that we need
it's
to close
different.
the restaurant, and we closed it for like 2 months.
Did you have a siren over here? We had siren in our community.
We had, yes.
The same morning, yeah.
Sure. It was
And-
like Muslims will never recognize if you're Arabic or Jew when you're in Israel.
Do you have a safe room like what's called mamad?
It's a very surrealistic thing because this restaurant safe room is in the mosque.
Oh wow!
So
you all
imagine
ran,
that when we have a siren, I will take all the people here to the mosque.
but in the morning when we had the sirens, because they did shoot towards Jerusalem a few times on October 7th.
I didn't go to.
I didn't go?
I didn't go to any safe room. No, I didn't. I didn't think that I need to.
You felt the protection.
That's how we feel always. But yes, we were protected, I guess.
Thank God. And after that 2 months you were closed, and
then my friends, Jewish friends, convinced me to open again, and it was like it was amazing. They came and like, what? You're still closing the restaurant and this and that? And I was yes. No one wants to come, and it's about. I mean, we're our business is a very unique business. I mean, we're playing with fun, and we're doing fun, and you can't be funny in these days.
it's part of entertainment going out to a restaurant, and it took some time for people to
Yes.
to pay for food.
At first, I didn't know what to say. I mean, how come and celebrate with us? What could I say? I mean, when I want to make the
Opening.
Yes, the opening, and when what you write on the Facebook or Instagram or here and there.
Social media.
So, yeah. So I didn't know what to write. It was like, go out. What? Let's get back to the life. I didn't know what to say because I couldn't say come and celebrate. No one wanted to celebrate in that.
Yeah, up until now it's hard.
Yeah, it's still hard. In the last 10 days, when they started to talk about the war from Iran, it's like we can't do nothing.
Yeah, no one goes out, huh? Everyone waiting at home.
Yeah. It went down again.
Yeah. Same thing with tourism, you always ask me, Yoav, where are your tourists? And I tell you, when peace will come, we'll come back.
There's Majda restaurant, which it's a restaurant next to us.
Yeah, they're older.
They closed.
They finished the business.
And they wrote, "We'll be back when the peace will come." And they closed. That's it. They closed they broke the walls. I mean, they know that the peace will not come. Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it. They closed. And it's very sad. I mean, it's the first restaurant in Ein Rafa, and it was like, I'll put you some coffee.
Thank you, Habibi.
صحة وهنا يا حبيبي.
This is Arabic coffee.
Yeah, with hair, cardamom.
Cardamom, yeah. That's what makes the Arabic coffee unique from the Turkish coffee world.
Or any other coffee. Italian coffee.
It's very good, I have to say.
There's many flavors. When you say Arabic thing, it's like it's funny because there's no Arabic cuisine, there's no Arabic coffee.
Yeah, the Arabic world is huge.
Saudian coffee,
yeah.
And you can find like Levant coffee, and the Saudian coffee, which is Arabic. Saudi is Arabic. It's like white coffee. It's like green white coffee with cardamom, but it's like different from our coffee.
Ah, wow.
That's what I always say. There's no such a thing as Arabic cuisine. It's like
there's local
Lebanese cuisine,
but there's local Arabic cuisine that was developed here in the mountains, in the hills. We call it the hills of Judea.
We call it Arabic cuisine because we wanted to make it different than other cuisines that we have here in Israel. But it's local cuisine.
Yes. What?
Jewish people that lived here before 100 years ate the same food.
You're right.
So it's like,
when I met you, I was always amazed by your own story of what brought you to open Rashta, which is a name of what?
It's the name of a dish. It's a dish that I didn't like when I was young, okay, let's talk about my story.
Yes.
When I first born here, it was like in the 90s or in the 80s, but I started to open my eyes and like to watch and search for things like when I was 7 years old, 5 years old, like that. So it's like in the 90s, and it was like I'll take you back to the 19s here in
In the
Israel.
village, yeah.
Do you remember it was like much, I mean, it was like happier than today. And we had like, we call it a televizia chinuchit.
Yes. The national TV, yeah.
And no, but
The educational
the
TV.
educational
Yes.
TV.
So you like to watch it?
I would like to watch. And they name it the educational TV because they wanted to educate the new generation of the Israeli people. I mean, they collected Jewish from everywhere, and they wanted to make
Yes.
like the education TV, so everyone would talk the same language. And I was, you know, we had like lots of series or lots I mean.
TV shows, yeah.
TV shows for children's, which was talking in Hebrew, and I liked the Hebrew language and all that.
Yeah, your Hebrew is sometimes even better than many people around you. I always hear you don't even have an accent when you speak.
Yeah. And that's because, I mean, I don't remember if I started to speak Hebrew or Arabic before, because it was like together. And I didn't realize at first the difference between Jewish and Arabs. I mean, I thought that TV is talking to me, and I'm like one of the people that lives here, and I didn't recognize. But slowly, I start to see the difference between the grandmother that there is in the TV and my grandmother, or lots of differences between the food that I'm having in the TV and the food that I'm eating actually at home, or my grandfather wanted to feed me.
What did you like better back then?
The Israeli food. I mean,
Okay.
the food. I don't know if it
The
was
TV
Israeli.
food.
The TV
Yeah.
food. I mean, the colorful food, the sweet food, the schnitzel and chips. Actually, that's what they ate.
The fast food.
Yeah. And,
tasty one.
And I didn't like. I mean, I remember my grandmother is making me a pita bread, which we call it. She called it dabub. She called it dabub. The certain pita that she gave to me, she called it dabub because it was like smaller than the other pitas that she's making, and it was the last pita. She's always making me the last one from the mean. And she was taking olive oil, real olive oil that she's making, and she was taking tomatoes from the garden and making me like a plate of olive oil and tomatoes, and trying to feed me with that bread. And I didn't like that bread, and I didn't like olive oil. I wanted schnitzel and chips and ketchup.
And what happened after?
Slowly. I fell in love in the Israeli culture. I wanted to be a Jew.
Wow.
I mean, when I was like 17, 18, I wanted to be a Jew. I started to speak only Hebrew, and because also you see that when you're a Jew, they open the doors more for you, and then you start, okay, maybe I want to be a Jew. But when I started to work at the restaurants, at first as a dishwasher, the chef was coming to me, and I'm like, the chef, no, he's not talking with, don't talk with nobody, and he's coming to me, like asking me for like the olive oil or the tomatoes.
The little good things from the village.
From the village, and I was like, why he's not asking for foie gras or for schnitzel, or I don't know, the food that I know that it was my favorite. And then slowly I started to understand the love and the truth that my grandmother wanted to feed me with.
From the land.
You start to understand the fakeness of all that culture. I mean, not the Israeli
fast food.
culture, the fast food culture, the 19s culture, and the early thousands. I mean,
2000, yes.
It was like. It was fake. I mean, today they're talking about farm to table, and today they're talking about. But back then, only chefs were talking about farm to table and were looking for these ingredients.
And
so it was like.
Did you do anything with it? Did you, like?
I first came here to Ein Rafa after they started to ask me. I started to. I mean, okay, I want to be like this Jewish chef. I want to go to Ein Rafa and look for this ingredients. And when I came back here, I saw that everybody left the land. No one is growing vegetables. All of them went to work in
outside of the village.
Government job, or like easier jobs than to be a farmer. And also, other reason that they left the farming is because you had all the industrial vegetables,
Yes.
which is
Bigger fields in the Lachish and all of
yeah,
that area.
and it's like cheaper and bigger and like also like the 90s, like cheaper and bigger and this and that.
No, the fields you have here are small.
Yeah,
Today we
right.
will call it boutique.
That okay. Also, boutique is a new.
The return for the fields.
Yeah, you're right. That hits me. I started to like what? When I have something to be like proud of it in my culture, it's going to disappear. So at first I started to search and like learn from the old people what they were growing and how, and like look for seeds and for stories. And slowly I understood that we have something very unique here. And slowly I thought I decided that I want to take it back. Not for them. I mean, okay, you can't have money from that thing, but still we need it. I mean, it's our uniqueness. And at first, Ein Rafa came from the next village, Suba. And when we came here, it's like, I don't know if you know the story, but it's like a story of three brothers that went down from Suba, the village up there, which was destroyed at 48. All the people left, and I mean, they came here before 48.
Yeah.
So they started to grow vegetables, and that's why we're safe. I mean, that's why we stayed in our land, because we were growing vegetables. So I thought, okay, if we're leaving our roots and the reason that we are here, so what is the difference between us and many other people that we're losing our color. We started to be gray, all of the people. So I started to grow vegetables.
Oh wow.
Yeah, sure. And I fixed all the tunnels that came from the springs. We have here 3 springs, and that's why they call it Ein Rafa. Ein is a spring in Arabic. So Ein Rafa is Rafa spring. So we have here 3 springs. I started to fix the springs. I've started to fix the tunnels, and slowly I've started to grow vegetables.
You know it's in Hebrew as well. Ein.
Ein, yeah, you're
spring,
right.
Because of in the Bible you have it. Ein Gedi.
Yeah, you're right.
And you fix it. You fixed it.
The Arabic and the Hebrew came from the same language.
So you fixed the tunnels, and what was here before everything?
And then I started to grow sheeps
and goats.
Here I had 300 sheep here.
Wow.
I was taking them to the mountain and back, and was like the best zen that I could have and the best meditation that I could have. It's like going with 300 sheep and like hearing only the bells, like tin of the sheep, and like boo and this.
So you had everything healthy, vegetables, milk and meat.
Yeah, at first I didn't like the meat, that kind of milk, because it was like very strong.
Yeah.
But slowly I started to love it, and the smell of the cheese was like very too much to me. And then slowly, it's like you get
You get used to it.
To that taste.
And when all of that moves to the restaurant?
When I understood that I can't make money from it. It's like taking 14 hours of my day every day. And
to take the sheep out.
Feed the sheep, and I need to bring medicines to the sheep, and like I can't do it without money at the end.
Yeah, it's a very romantic thing, but
I still wanted to be romantic. So that's why I first started this restaurant. I wanted to use my vegetables, the milk and the cheese that I'm making, and slowly also to convince people to come back to the lands, young people.
And you managed. There's few people that came back to the fields over here.
We're taking about seven years after. At first, I've started to take young people to the restaurant to work as waiters or small cooks. I mean, like cook helpers. At first, and then they started to see their culture from Jewish eyes. Like what I felt when the chefs was telling me, where is your olive oil, or where is your ingredients that I...
Because everyone here in the village has something in his yard, and you told them go bring and...
No, I mean when I'm making the food, the certain food with the
local
recipes, people is coming and eating, and they're like, wow, I love, and I started also, I wanted to make, to design the restaurant as an Arabic old place, like it was before 100 years or something like that. So when they started to see Jewish people, which they also admire, I mean, the young people that lives in Ein Rafa admire Jewish people. They look at them as like the rich and the healthy and I don't know what, all the good stuff that you can imagine about people. So, so when they saw them talking in this, I mean, in that love
And they're
about
coming,
our food,
yeah, coming to eat here.
our yeah, they're coming to eat here and talking with love about the our culture. They started to fall in love again in our culture because they saw it from Israeli Jewish eyes. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, let's
It's
say
fascinating.
מיוחד.
Yeah, it's
Special.
unique. Yeah.
So
And
and
sorry.
slowly,
Yeah.
people have started to make money, have started to talk with Jews about our culture, started to be, I mean, fell in love in our culture again. So now, 7 or 8 years after the opening of Rashta, you have 4 people under the age of 40, which are farmers. You know,
Here.
Roberto,
Can.
you know, Ibrahim, I mean, Ibrahim Roberto, Ahmed, the guy that has the tent here, that making us all the vegetables. And
The
there's
micro
also
lifts.
Hamoud, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, there's like 4, and Noor. There's
And
4
all of these
farmers.
fields are here in the valley. It's mountain farming because these fields cannot be huge.
Yeah, yeah.
So
you're
everything
right.
is more boutique, more quality.
And some of it even we grow it without water. It calls Baal.
Yeah, trusting in the rain.
Terrace and yeah. So
So basically, you came back. You found the treasure under the bridge over here, like the good old story, and you named your restaurant after the dish
which
that
I
you hated most,
hated the most, which called Rasta. But after I opened Rasta,
which
and after
I convinced you to make it in the tours,
and they were doing it.
it looks not. It doesn't. Obviously, it's a very homey food. It's
That's why I
very
didn't like it when I was young. It was
kind
like
of-
brown, then
yeah, kind of ugly.
ugly, and I wanted schnitzel and chips. Really,
But
I
it's
wanted
it's
like
comfort.
that. And that's delicious. Now I
Yeah.
see it's delicious.
It's good for the winter.
Yeah, you're right. There's lentils, pasta, homemade pasta that we're making inside it. There's onions, sumac.
Yeah, a lot of spices from
Yeah, and
here.
also dried tomatoes and mushrooms that we're collecting from the mountains. So yeah, it's a very unique dish. And after I opened Rashta, we'll come back to the first to what we said at first of the podcast, at the beginning of the podcast. Rashta is the name of a dish, okay? But I started to search about Rashta, and then I understood that there's Rashta in each and every Arabic country.
Yeah.
So there is Rashta in Egypt, which is kushari. There is Rashta in Algeria. There's there's Moroccan Rashta.
Even
there's-
Persia, no? Even the
It started
Iranians,
in Iran, but now
everywhere.
I understand that if you want to talk about Arabic cuisine, and I didn't know that at first. I just named it on the name of the dish that I hated the most. But if you want to talk about dish that you have in all the Arabic cuisines, I guess Rashta is one of them. So
You know, I think that the village and your kitchen are super interesting for visitors coming. I found here, thanks to you, your cousin, who hosted some of my tours at home. And when I asked him what kind of food do you make for Friday, he said kube hamusta. And this is obviously the Jewish food that the Kurdish Jews are
our
making.
neighbors.
And it's the only place I think in this land that you have Jewish influence over the Arab kitchen at home. Because of
I see many examples.
the living together. I mean,
Yeah,
like
it's like a small country, small village.
me and you are in the same what called regional council or the
Yeah.
county council,
Yeah,
which is surprising, I think, and it's with all the issues, it's still something that people don't know and people don't expect to happen here in the land. And I think coming here is for half a day, people can learn a lot from you, from being here,
You're right.
and to see this amazing village you have over here.
Thank you for that.
Do you have maybe one thing, like one dish? Maybe we'll do like kind of like a recipe that you give later by the tabun maybe, but is there one thing here in the restaurant that you will never give up? I mean, something that represents mostly you, the kitchen, or Ein Rafa, the village, or the mountains, that you will always have in the menu, or something that represents for you, I mean, yourself, or when people come,
Actually,
the side of the coffee.
actually, if you want to talk about herb, then it's the za'atar.
Za'atar.
Za'atar, it's the
You always have it in. You have the gliliot, the rolls.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
I
give
love
you
it.
some of it after that. I know that you love it.
I will eat it. You'll have to come.
And it's a kind of a herb that I remember.
It's the
going
hyssop,
in the summer.
and they
Yeah.
mix it with sumac, which is also a local spice,
Yeah, yeah.
with some sesame, and it's almost in everywhere. The kitchen makes some noises.
Yeah.
It's almost everywhere in the kitchen, in the salad, in baking,
And it represents the Arabic mountains kitchen, because I remember my grandmother sending me every every, like, let's say every summer to go and collect
the hyssop, the za'atar. You know, it's amazing because for my childhood, I grew up in the north. And if you ask me about Israeli, living here spice, a smell, this will be of going out to nature. This will be the smell, kind of reminding an oregano or something, but more strong, I think. That's really cool that we have the same smell in our nose.
Yeah, and it's not strange. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. We live together in the same time, in the same region,
The same mountains,
yeah.
Rannem, I want to thank you, and I invite everyone to come and visit Rashta and meet Rannem. He has more stories, and the food is amazing.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll do a little tasting video, and I will try to describe the flavors, but the best is to come and visit. Thank you for having me over here.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll come back with the groups and everything soon. Thank you.
Thank you for sending some of our flavors to people out there. And yeah, you must come and visit.